Hello everyone and welcome to IMAGI-NATION TV, coming to you live today, and we're really excited to be welcoming our partner school all the way from Western Australia, and we've got Southern River College as our partner school today, and Matilda Annandale is joining us as the co-host. Matilda, how are you?
I'm good.
That's good. Tell me, what's one thing that you want to learn out of today and this experience of being a co-host?
Well, I want to learn to be more confident in my public speaking.
Well, I think you're doing pretty good. You've already kick-started it. So we'll get some questions coming through the chat line, and we're going to move into the challenge straight away with your principal. So we've got Principal Everell Eaton here with us, ready to take on the 60-second challenge. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm awesome. Well, let's start the timer and let's get into this. All right, ready, steady, go. What is your idea of perfect happiness?
Perfect happiness, just being at home, relaxing with my family and sitting on the couch with my dog, Harry.
Perfect. Which living person do you most admire?
Living person I most admire? Oh, gosh, probably the kids at Southern River College, in actual fact, because they're pretty fantastic.
What is your most treasured possession?
And my treasured possession, my hugging vase at home. It's a 6-foot vase and it's huge, and I give it a hug.
I love that idea. It's a hugging vase. What quality do you most like in puppets?
Puppets. Now, Shaq, you told me this one. Go quick.
If you pull the strings, you can get it to do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Nice, good, Shaq. I love that you got a team with you. The entourage is perfect. Where would you most like to live?
Down south, Dunsborough. Sit on the beach and relax, chilled.
What do you most value in your friends?
Kindness, honesty, spending time together, and just being able to talk.
And what is it that you most dislike in the world?
Angry people and people that don't give a stuff about anyone else.
Yeah, I agree with that one. Hey, thank you so much for joining us, everyone. And thank you for working with us and working with all these kids and being such a great leader. And, you know, it's a pleasure for us to work with schools like you guys. So
you're
thanks.
An awesome team. Go Southern River.
Absolutely. Good on you, gang.
Yep.
All right. Our next 60-second challenge is one of our AIM partners at University of Queensland. And we've got Annie Bron-Frederick joining us today. Annie Bron, how are you?
Yeah, I'm great. Thanks, Jack.
Hey, thanks so much for joining us. Let's get the clock started and let's take on the 60-second challenge.
Okay, let's go.
Who is your hero of fiction?
Hero of fiction would have to be Superman and Superwoman.
What are your favourite names?
Favourite names, any name, really.
What is freedom to you?
Freedom is people having some equality.
Which talent would you most like to have?
Sing. I'd love to be able to sing more.
What quality do you most value in people?
I value loyalty.
What's your secret power?
My secret power is just get in and do stuff.
On what occasion do you value rebelliousness?
When people see things that are going and are wrong and they step up to the mark.
What is your current state of mind?
Fairly good. Fairly good. Yeah, happy.
What is your motto?
Keep going, keep doing, get up and do it again the next day.
And which historical figures do you most identify with?
I love ones that are still currently alive. So I love listening to Obama. I like Angela Merkel. I also just like people that run community organisations who go every day doing what they got to do to help people in the community.
Arnie Bron, thank you for joining us. Thank you for your commitment to education and all the work that we get to do and everything that you do in your life. You've been an absolute warrior, so thanks for being such a champion.
And shout out to all the students out there. Keep going and keep focusing on your studies to the end of the semester and the end of the year.
Absolutely.
Always people there that can help you, and we're standing with you, beside you and behind you, propping you up.
Thanks, Arnie Bron.
Thank you.
Matilda, what do you reckon? How did your boss go? How did Principal Everall go?
Pretty good.
Pretty good. What did you learn from those two 60-second challenges? Did you pick anything up along the way?
Not really.
Okay, we'll keep moving through it. I like that idea that of disliking people that are angry and that don't care about each other, and that thread line of kind of kindness. And it was nice with Arnie Bron talking about the people who, the everyday heroes that go about and just get things done. They're all around our world, and often without acknowledgement as well. I thought it was pretty cool. All right, we're going to meet a wizard. Do you like wizards, Matilda?
Yeah.
I like wizards too. We've got Denise Della Rosa, who's going to join us for 180 seconds of wizardry. Let's go over to Denise now.
Hey guys, my name's Denise and I'm studying education at University of Queensland. My subject areas are geography and Spanish, and I'm the first UQ intern for AIM. And in today's 180 seconds of wizardry, I'll be talking about the art of giving back to the community and how it helped me find my passion for teaching. Okay, so I've been a mentor for 5 years now. I started when I was in my second year of university. In 2015, I went off to Cambodia to build houses for this charity called Tabitha Cambodia, and it's where you raise funds for about a year and you go off to Cambodia to build houses. After building the houses, you meet the families that would actually live in the house, which is kind of cool. After seeing their faces and feeling the happiness in the town after building 20 houses on stilts was incredible. And after that trip in Cambodia, I asked myself, what's next? How can I help the community? So when I moved to Australia, I started a university career, and my second semester we worked with this organization called RT Program, and it was for 3 hours every week for the whole semester. And for me, after 2 sessions, I did a full day instead of 3 hours. So I finished my my allocated hours that I was supposed to do for the semester, and then I just continued working with kids and tutoring them, and it helped me so much because I learned about the school environment even more that way than when I was actually doing my prac. I urge everyone to actually help and see, it doesn't have to be what I do, like a mentoring for a school once a week or once a 2 weeks, but it could be anything. It could be planting trees, it could be helping your siblings with their homework, or even just putting the right products in the right area when you go grocery shopping. But the feeling that you get after helping someone is very good, because you're not expecting anything in return, and you know that it will.
Denise, thanks for sharing that with us, and that journey going off and building houses for other people and coming back and spending your time wanting to give your energy to other people. Hey, Matilda, do you think some people are just good and they go out and they want to help people, or they learn that along the way?
I think they learn that along the way. way.
How do you think they learn it?
Well, so they make a mistake and then they go back and they think, how can I make this mistake into a success?
Yeah, that's a big idea. Hey, we've got some chat people coming in from the chat line. Annie Bron, who was just on here, said Matilda's stepping up. Good on you, Matilda. Hannah James saying, Tilly, so excited to see you hosting today. Just a step towards your future gig as Australia's PM. High expectations, I suppose. And we've got Brianna Saltner saying, great to see you on Imagination TV, Annie Bron. So lots of love moving through the chat line. Keep the questions coming. And we're about to now move into our presidential section. So we have the stage, speaking of potentially Australia's future PM. You're now today, Matilda, for the next 3 minutes, going to be the president of Imagination. How are you feeling about taking on that challenge you set yourself to improve with public speaking and to deliver this speech today?
Feeling pretty good.
Yeah,
Just a bit nervous.
Well, take those nerves, and the stage is yours. Ladies and gentlemen, Matilda Annandale, the president of Imagination.
People of Imagination, it is great honour that I get to lead you as President Matilda of Southern River College. Today I want to share an important message about listening. Some people are very good at speaking, telling their stories and being able to inspire others. But being a good listener is more important than speaking it. It gives others an understanding about someone's situation, helps us to know what words are the best support and to help them. We should consider the meaning behind people's words. We should look beyond their letters and understand their body language, the tone of voice, and understand their thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. I think listening is important for the world of imagination because you can learn new things, and if you make a mistake, you can learn how to make it a success. As your president, I urge you to think about your listening skills. A good listener does not check their phone in the middle of a conversation when someone is sharing with them. A good listener doesn't hurry somebody, but ask good questions to guide their sharing. They will help shape what's being shared without interrupting us. Good speakers don't always make the best listeners, but as your president of Imagination, I am a speaker who knows how to be a good listener. Good listeners earn the right to speak because they are sharing more than their own experience, which is why I'm here today. I am here to listen to and give a voice to all. Imagination TV and AIM are the best places to listen and learn, but more importantly, it's a place to find our voice. Thank you.
So cool. I wish there was a crowd here because they'd be clapping. So I'll just give you my own personal round of applause. Hey, that idea that you earn the right to speak by listening is really powerful. It's a really rich idea. So thanks so much for sharing that with us. I think it's a really cool idea for us to think about. How did it feel on the other side of it?
It's pretty good.
Yeah, you did great. You did awesome. All right, let's go to Jason, who's our second president of Imagination. Matilda, have you got any tips for Jason before he delivers the speech and you pass on the baton?
Probably look at the audience and look down at your page at the same time.
Awesome. All right, Jason Kelly, how are you feeling about being the president of Imagination?
A bit nervous.
All right, Cuz, well, let's take those nerves, let's put them into action and let's get going. Hey, have you done much public speaking?
Not really.
Oh, well, no time like the present on a live television show that everyone can watch around the world and watch for the history of your life forever. So no pressure. Jason Kelly, thank you for joining us and becoming the president of Imagination. The stage is yours, Cuz, off you go.
All right, thank you. Imagination to me is at the forefront of creation. A stab in the dark as one thinks out loud, thinks out of the box to create something out of this world. Sure, you might fail, but here at AIM, we have been taught that it's okay to fail. And the toughest choice is just showing that initiative to get up and give it a go. As a president of Imagination, I would create a global failure time, an hour a week where everyone is encouraged to drop what they're doing and come up with ways to overcome an issue in their lives. Whether it's stopping the spread of COVID-19 or fixing the unevenness in that chair, spend time thinking, creating, and imagining how to overcome it. Thank you.
I reckon some of there's this guy called Ernest Hemingway. Have you ever heard of him before, Jason? You ever heard his name?
No.
He's a writer, and he said that if you can write a 6-word story, it's like the most powerful story, and often like less words are the more can be the more powerful. And in your speech just then, you know, that idea of failure and a global failure time and being able to look at something practical to then look at how we overcome problems and give it a go. Just thought you put it so clearly that I was just nodding going, yeah, okay, let's go do this. So you've got a great skill at communicating complex things in a really accessible way in a really short time frame, which is very hard. So please keep using your voice to try and make sense of things and communicate it to other people, because it's a real gift that helps us all understand things. So good on you.
Thank you.
How'd you feel on the other side of it?
Bit scared, not gonna lie.
Yeah, well, I thought you did great, Jason. And look, the thing about doing stuff like this is it's not life and death. You know, you get to get up, try something, and then there's always the other side. Whether you're in class putting your hand up and asking a question, if you get that question wrong, you're always getting one door closer to the question right. And the scary thing about life, when you get to a certain point, it's like, oh, there's always more things I'm going to get wrong. Like every single day, you just get up, you're like, oh, I'm always going to fail at stuff. I'm always going to find challenges. And I think if you have an attitude of you want to explore and you want to embrace it and you have a go and use that initiative that you spoke about, then you give yourself the chance to have a really rich life, I reckon, and a really fulfilling life. So good on you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Hey, lots of love coming in from the chat line. We've got Matilda, the co-host, saying, good job, Jason. We've got Edward Halverson saying, good job. Kat saying, Jason for president. Well, he just was. Lisa saying, brave as. We've got Arnie Bron saying, thank you for your words, Jason. You were terrific. So lots of love coming through. Brendan Newton saying, wow, I'm so impressed, Jason. So lots and lots of love coming in to our student audience today from Southern River College. We've got Blake, Chloe, Braden, Trent, Jake and Micah behind the scenes here who are listening in. So they might throw some questions along the way as we're rolling through. And our final presidential speech today, we've got Genevieve Zogby joining us. Genevieve, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Thanks.
Awesome. Well, the stage is yours to be the president of IMAGI-NATION. Take us with you. Off you go.
So as president of IMAGI-NATION, I will ensure all individuals, regardless of their gender, social class, location, ethnicity, and race, have the understanding that your imagination, your ideas are valuable and achievable. The ideas and the things you imagine that you come up with are unique to you because of these things. Your perspective, your light, your experiences, they shape you. So use it. Take the initiative to make a plan. If you like singing, if you like painting, dancing, writing, physics, chemistry, politics, make a plan. Don't live in fear or make excuses saying, I don't have the resources or I'm not talented enough. You will never know. If you can imagine it and you believe it, people around you will follow. Make that change, as Michael Jackson would say. Take the initiative. To think your favorite artists, the people you look up to. For me, as cliched as it is, it's Michael Jackson and Beyonce. But to think that they were born no different to us, but they had their own imagination. They had their own context. They had their own families. They had their own problems. And they took that initiative. They took the steps. They didn't just keep it in their mind because of fear of failure, but they worked hard, they got inspired, and they worked for it. That to me is the magic of imagination. It's taking the steps, taking something made from thin air, something from your mind and sharing it with the world, making that difference. It can happen anywhere. It can happen in your bedroom, in your classroom, eating, when you're sleeping, anything, but it's yours. Also, I encourage people to be inspired. Look at the things around you. Try to look at things in a different perspective, in a different lens. Don't live in fear if you can't do it. You will do it, and let's work to make steps to fulfill it and take the initiative. That's my speech.
Awesome. Thanks, Genevieve. Matilda, how did she go? What do you reckon?
I reckon she really inspired me to think.
Yeah, what about?
Well, about how she mentioned Michael Jackson and how he had those problems and he overcame them. So yeah.
Yeah, I think you that idea that there's something in thin air, I think is a really cool idea, Genevieve, that, you know, it's just there, and then you kind of put something in your brain and then you say it, and then suddenly you start acting and doing, and then that can start to come to life. So thanks so much for joining us and being the president of Imagination for a short period of time.
Anytime. Thank you.
All good. Okay, we're going to now move into our next segment. So we're rolling into something we launched a week and a half ago, which took a little bit of imagination. So we're making a feature film at the moment, Matilda. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, like big cinema release, Hollywood, and we're doing it right now through, have you heard of Google Docs?
Yeah.
So we just made an open Google Doc and we put the title Imagine at the top and said, who wants to write a feature film with us? And so we just keep sharing this Google Doc with everybody, and people are sharing all their ideas. And every day on this show for the month, we're co-writing a feature film, and then we're giving out filmmaker grants for people to go out and make the film and make this sort of collage film. So that's what you get to be a part of next. You ready for it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We'll throw out a quick video and we'll come back and we'll get into Failure Time, the special, as we look at Imagine the film.
Most of us love the story of the child who is sidelined by life because of the situation they were born into or the color of their skin, and then one day becomes a champion or a success or a hero. This is the kind of story we hope will inspire marginalized kids to dream big and make their dream come true. But what if we did it differently?
How are we gonna do that?
Flipping the script is about not letting the hand you've been dealt stop you from achieving your goals.
Imagine realizing that you can actually flip the script that's been given to you and start writing your own story.
We have to challenge the norms.
So what if we ask the kids we don't usually hear from, the ones who are sidelined by life, to be our storytellers?
The project Imagine gives us all the power to flip the script.
We invite all of you, all humans everywhere, to join us in a live experiment.
The time for talk been over. It's time for some action.
And there is genuinely no limit to what you can achieve.
There is no limit to any imaginative juices.
Use that kind of like just around the corner idea, so you can bring in technology and ideas or social constructs that don't exist and bring them into this world.
Let's write the next chapter of human history collectively.
Imagine the wealth of stories and ideas just waiting to come into the world. Imagine the new horizons, if we flip the script. Welcome to the Imagine Film Project.
Okay, we are ready to rumble, and today joining us for a special Failure Time, we have Philip Durowan, Sophie Ross, and Christian Mann. Philip, how are you feeling about this?
I'm so excited. Thank you, Jack, for having me. I'm so excited to be with you guys today.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Let's get ready to make a feature film and be an official writer. Christian, did you think that you were going to be a writer on a feature film? Swing back to you in a second.
I did not. No, there we go. I did not, but I'm very excited for the opportunity.
Good, man. Well, I'm looking forward to the credits rolling, the big cinema release. As you're sitting there in Louisiana, you know, COVID's finished up. We've got a vaccine. Popcorn's okay. Maybe we have to sit like with a seat different to everybody for the rest of eternity, but you're there, you're relaxed. And at the end of the film, you're like, that's my name. I wrote a feature film. Hey, Sophie, how you feeling about the show today and being a part of it?
Pretty good. Pretty excited to be here.
Awesome. Okay, well, let's set the scene. So this is the world that's been created so far in the last 10 days or so since we launched Imagine the feature film. So we've had writers come in who have been professional writers and filmmakers and worked all around the world. We've had youngsters as a part of the show who have been writing it. We've had everybody in between sort of contributing and building ideas. So the setup is there's a 15-year-old kid, a youngster named Kim, who may not have a gender yet, maybe gender fluid. So we haven't quite landed there yet. Kim has a really messy bedroom, like a really messy bedroom. Matilda, have you ever seen a messy bedroom?
Yeah,
Me too. I just had to clean up mine today, and it was really starting to, like, I feel like your mess in your bedroom starts to show the mess in your brain. But anyway, maybe a bit too much personal detail. So 15-year-old Kim has got this messy bedroom. She climbs into her bed. She's on top of the double bed, a big double bed, which is there. And a claw comes over, pulls Kim underneath the bed. And then, Matilda, you'll never believe it, but then Kim ends up on a tiny boat in an empty ocean with an alien dog as a sidekick. Then there's 6 islands that we're looking out at, and the 6 islands represent different stages potentially of Kim's life. And one of the islands, the first island that we go to, is we go over there and we make our way into our schoolyard, and Kim and the alien dog can actually see this schoolyard presented, and they see someone that sort of looks a bit like Kim, who's bullying this kid who's eating burger rings and steals their burger rings. And Kim goes up and the alien dog says, "Hey, that's not right," turns the kid around, and the kid, he thought it might be him, but it wasn't him. And he looked down and saw that the kid's face, the little kid whose burger rings got taken, was actually his dad. So the bullying had started before his dad got bullied, and Kim has spent his life as a bully. So that's our setup. Kim's a bully. His dad's been bullied. He had his burger rings taken when he was younger. And now we're in a world where we've got to build from here. So what's the next journey? What does the second island look like? I'd love to explore with you guys today.
Yeah. I feel like he should go and discover his true passions and make him feel like, why does he feel a certain way? Where he's angry with his father. I feel like he should really dig deep into his heart and really figure out why does he feel that way.
So Matt, how would we show that in a story? So if let's say we've got to a place, so the bully turned into a monster and chased Kim and the alien dog into the boat. So they've then gone off onto the second island. If Kim is going to confront that anger, how do we build that into a world? How do we make that a story?
Yeah, I feel like when you get to the second island, like the second island kind of represents our mind. So I'm thinking of like an Alice in Wonderland type thing. Maybe it's darker. It's just filled with, I don't know, like creatures and stuff that represent our anger or our upsetness. Usually, maybe like scary puppets or something along those lines. That's what I'm thinking of, like trying to go off what Philip says. The second island is kind of represents our emotions in the aspects of just deep, dark, scary, grouchy, Oscar the Grouch in a trash can type thing.
Yeah, there's dark. I think that's a great idea. That idea that it can be a dark world. And Matilda, what do you think? What could we build into this world if it's dark? Like, what would a world look like if we were trying to understand anger and build a story around it?
I don't know.
Okay, I'll come back to you in a second. Sophie, what do you think? Where do we go?
Well, I was thinking about what Christian was saying about how it could be like a dark kind of place, and there's a bunch of different creatures, and they're all a representation of our dark emotions and our dark feelings. And I was thinking a way to confront that, to get off that island could be showing those angry creatures kindness, because I feel a lot of people, when you're angry, it's because you haven't experienced much kindness and understanding in your life. So those feelings can be very easily counteracted and counterbalanced with feelings of kindness and understanding.
Yeah, I love that idea. I was just reading last night about this story of, has anyone ever heard of Lord of the Flies?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Lord of the Flies tells a story of, Matilda, have you heard of Lord of the Flies before?
No.
So it's this story. Who wants to tell a quick story about what Lord of the Flies is? Christian?
I've heard of it. I haven't read it.
Philip, do you know the story?
I think I've heard about it, but I'm not too familiar with it.
All right, we'll go to a final quiz. Sophie, do you want to have a crack at it?
It's like a whole bunch of young boys that get stuck on a deserted island with no authority, no parents or teachers. And the whole story is based around how they
treat each other, and how they survive by, you know, whether or not they treat each other with respect, or whether or not they just turn into complete animals and just do whatever they want with no regard for other people.
And the kicker of the story is that it ends up more towards the latter, which is it says that human nature, we're destined to tear each other apart. So a few of the kids end up passing away. This one kid gets bullied really significantly. They're a shambles by the time they get rescued. Now, the funny thing about, it's not funny at all. The powerful thing about the stories we tell ourselves is that if we tell ourselves that our human nature is to destroy ourselves, which actually goes right back to this Thomas Hobbes view of the world, which was that we needed institutions to protect against our worst nature, so that schools and prisons and government would protect against human beings being at our worst. And there's this guy, Jean-Jacques Rousseau, who's another philosopher, who said, no, actually, our human nature is to be good. And this guy went and had a look through this idea of Lord of the Flies and went Googling it all. And he found out that this group of kids from Tonga went and left school one day. So they're on a small island. And they're like, oh, we're just going to take a boat because we don't want to be at school. They got lost. The sail broke. The rudder broke. They ended up, after 5 days, drifting into this island. And they were stuck on this island for 14 months. Now, these kids did not destroy each other. For 5 of them, 5 young men, supported each other. They created a routine over 24 hours to keep the fire going. One of the kids broke their leg, and they said, all right, you're now the lord of the island. And they looked after him and supported him. They built a little garden. They found in this old volcano at the top of the island chickens that have been reproducing over the last 50 years. And then they got chickens and worked out how to work with the chickens and work and create this farming. Like, if we start the story that we can confront anger with kindness, if we believe in the better instincts of human beings, then maybe that's what that second island could start to become for us, and could challenge that Lord of the Flies idea. So let's go for 3-4 more minutes and building on it, and just give me a scene, give me something that's happening. Kim comes in with the alien dog and lands on the island. What happens?
So I feel like once he gets there, he's trying to figure out, okay, what do I do now? All these angry people is attacking me. How do I go from there? And once he figures out what he wants in his life, he goes and then attacks it. Then following that, he realizes his true passions. Then all the anger is gone for him.
I'm thinking, like, when he goes on the island, it's kind of not like everyone all at once. Kind of like if you've ever seen like The Wizard of Oz, Dorothy's on her trail and she comes across the first thing, and that first creature or whatever, I mean, it's going to be confrontational. It represents the upset emotion, whatever it may be. Maybe it's a monster from her past. Maybe it's something she's never seen before, but it just represents it. And Kim decides to kind of like help talk, maybe like mediate the situation, being like, why are you this way? And kind of mediates the situation, and then it changes not only Kim's perspective on life, because she's helped, or he or she has helped this creature through life, or through this moment, but it's also changed the creature's perspective. So the creature now doesn't necessarily represent that emotion. It's changed, and you continue along this journey, meeting these different emotions that are represented by these different creatures. And at the end, she's like, okay, maybe my passion is to help people through their problems.
Yeah, so I love that idea. Let's just narrow it right in. So to tell a powerful big story, we've got to find one example. So Sophie, we've got Kim and our alien dog Jeff. They cruise into the island. Maybe there's they land on some rocks, and they put the ship down, or their little boat down, and they climb up on the rocks. What happens?
Okay. Again, like what Christian said, he's really nailing it. Kim comes off the island with his dog and all of a sudden runs into this massive creature, and this massive creature is...
What's the creature's name?
Glob. Sorry? Yeah, Glob. Glob, I'm sticking to it. And Glob is really angry, really massive, and every time he says something horrible, he gets bigger and bigger and angrier and angrier.
What color, Philip, what color is Glob? What does Glob look like?
I would say a dark navy, light green.
Yeah, that's good. That's Glob. That's him.
Love it.
he just has spikes coming off him. He's angry. And Kim just looks at him and goes, you know, man, what's going on? Like, do you want to talk about this? Like, are you okay? And Glub's just like, you know what? Yeah, I do. I'm not feeling great. And you know what, Glub, the more he talks about his feelings, the more he starts opening up, and the more Kim tries to be understanding and comforting and kind, Glub starts feeling better. And he starts getting smaller and smaller and calmer. And that navy turns into a nice light blue. And that lime green turns into a nice grass green.
I think it's really good, and we believe in yes and at AIM as a value, so building on stories. So I think we're building on that and then working our way to find that tension point would be really cool, and unpacking how we get there. So we've got a few comments coming in from the student audience. We've got Trent, Braden and Blake saying perhaps when Kim goes to second island, they need to confront their different emotions, and perhaps their names can just be the emotions they represent. That's a really cool idea. So it could be anger or anger. For French. And we've got, Genevieve with a comment saying maybe when they go on the island, they search for a weapon or a person who can beat the monster, but like in The Wizard of Oz, they find out they have the power to do it themselves, or they find a way to understand and empathize with it. Love the ideas that are coming through. We're going to share the Google Doc is live on our website on aimmentoring.com. So please jump on, Genevieve and anyone that's watching the show, and add your ideas, and let's try and build the story. And I'd challenge Sophie, Christian and Philip, your homework after the show is to jump on and really interrogate the color of that first frame. I don't know if anyone's ever seen Studio Ghibli before, but Hayao Miyazaki spends all this time just sweating the opening scene. You get the frame right in a story in life, then you can play in all these different spaces. And it's really the same as how we think about, what success looks like or whatnot. So Sophie, Christian, Philip, thank you for joining us and being a part of this special Imagine Failure Time experience. And it's been a pleasure having you all join us today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, thanks for having us.
Oh, good. We'll catch you soon. Look forward to seeing what you've written, and make sure you add the comments and add your name there so we can give you that credit. So when you're sitting in that Louisiana cinema, Christian, you can be like, yeah, I wrote a feature film. Okay, awesome. We're almost at the end of the show today. Matilda, how did they go?
They did good with the ideas.
Was there anything you were thinking as a story was building? Was there anywhere where you'd like to take it?
Well, I was going to say, like, maybe because Kim bullies other people, maybe they, there's the monsters, one of the monsters get bullied, and then, so let's say Sad gets bullied, and she becomes sad, and then Kim realizes that what she is doing not making anyone else feel better about themselves.
Just writing that down. So you've maybe got, I like that idea. What's wrong with you? If flipping the script a little bit, like we did that theme last week, like how do you do something which isn't quite predictable? So maybe, that idea that you've got, Matilda, Kim could land on the island and Glub could come up and feel like, and say hello. And then Kim actually attacks Glub, says you're ugly or something, or attacks them verbally or bullies Glub. Glub runs off crying. And Jeff, the dog, the alien dog, says, what the heck's wrong with you? And then we start on that journey of sort of wandering after, trying to find Glub. And maybe our journey around Island 2 is, where's Glub? Have you seen Glub? Asking all these different animals where Glub is. Yeah. That's your idea. I just sort of wrote it a little bit. Awesome. Okay, we're moving towards the back end of this show now. So we've got Kobe who's joining us. Matilda and Kobe are sharing a screen. So I think Kobe's going to come and jump into the screen and talk about his art. We've got a quick video that we're going to show quickly, and then we've got Kobe joining us as the artist of the week. Kobe, we're looking at some of your art now. Tell us, why do you make art? What is it when you put paint down on a canvas, or you start drawing? Why do you do it?
I did the first one, the bushfire, because I wanted to show the event, what happened, the bushfires, and that inspired me to do that. That's why I wanted to do that one. And the other one, I was asked to do a painful competition, and I wanted to make it even more meaningful. It's waterways, showing water is important by the green, and it starts going to the desert, showing that the further away you go from the water, the more uninhabitable the land becomes. That's why I did the second one.
Can you remember, Kobe, the first time that you did a piece of art? Do you remember putting down that first dot or the first line?
I remember the first one I was trying to do was a snake, but it ended up disappearing somehow. I don't know how. It went walkies.
Went walkabout.
Yeah.
I think it's so scary, that first bit, and unnecessarily scary, putting a dot down. I'm actually reading this book on loop for my daughter at the moment called The Dot, and it's about this kid who's in the back of art class, and the teacher comes up to her at the end of the art class and all of the students have left. And the teacher says to her, oh, what's this? And picks up a blank piece of paper and says, there's a polar bear in a snowstorm because it's clear, there's nothing there. And she says, very, very funny. And the teacher says to us, look, just put something down. She goes, I can't draw. And says, just put one little thing down. So this student, Rashki, puts a dot on the page and then holds it up, and the teacher says, now sign it. And so Rashki goes and then signs it, and then comes back the next day and the teacher's framed the artwork and put it behind her desk. And then after that, Rashki then starts doing more and more dots and painting more and more. And I find that we scare ourselves with art sometimes by being afraid to put that first dot down. And have you found it easier after you started making that you can actually just keep going?
Yeah. At first I was nervous, and then I kept going and going and going. Once I got my style first started, then I can keep going with a lot more confidence.
Awesome. Well, good on you, Kobe. Keep making art, because I think art is critical for us to try and think about the world, whether it's about fires or it's about stories with nature or it's about ourselves or it's about things we don't even know yet. Artists play a role. We walk off into different arenas for people to try and imagine what reality can look like. And yeah, it's one of the greatest gifts I think human beings can have. So thanks for being an artist, and we'll see what we can do to help you out along the way with some mentoring and support, and just see if we'd be there on your team. So good on you, Kobe. Thanks for creating.
You're welcome.
Love coming in from the chat line. We've got Jace Burton saying, Kobe, your talent is incredible. Been lucky to see it evolve over the years. Grace Douglas saying, stunning art. We've got Bron Frederick saying, love how you paint, what's happening now in our times, Kobe, and how you use your talent to show us all how you see things. Thank you. Chloe Bishop saying, Artist of the Week always has me inspired. And Genevieve said, wow, Kobe, you're so talented. Thanks to everybody who's been a part of the show today. It's been a really rich one to gather and to explore different things. Thanks to Blake, to Chloe, to Braden, to Trent, to Jake and to Micah who have joined us in the student audience for your questions and your ideas and for listening in and being a part of it and being so patient. So thanks, guys, for doing that. Matilda, thanks for co-hosting. How was the experience? Did you learn a bit more about public speaking?
Yeah, I did.
Awesome. What advice would you have to anyone that wants to co-host on this show?
Maybe listen to how other people talk, and then you can get little tips from them and then just speak.
Yeah, that's awesome. Hey, thanks for joining us. Good luck with your school, and we'll be there to support you along the way. And yeah, keep stepping up and putting yourself in the deep end. I love that idea that you said in your speech, that we have the ability to listen and earn the right to speak. So I think if you follow that philosophy as you move through your life, you'll go really well. So good on you, Matilda.
Thanks for having me.
Pleasure. All right, that wraps us up for today on Imagination TV. Thanks to Southern River College for being such a great partner school, the University of Queensland for being a fantastic partner of this episode. And we're going to wrap up with our video diary entries with being brave in the times of COVID-19. We have Holly Johnson who's going to take us out. And we'll catch you guys tomorrow for our designers show as we catch up with some rock stars who are working on the film with us to build Imagine Out as we keep moving through and try and bring a mentor in every kid's home every single day. See you on the other side.
Being brave in times of coronavirus. Dear kids, parents, and people of the world, my name is Holly Johnson. I'm a proud Gunai Kurnai and Maneera Ngarigo woman. I'm located at Federation University in Churchill, 2 hours southeast of Melbourne in Victoria, and my role at AIM is the Program Manager of Gippsland. Being someone that is happy to keep to herself, I didn't mind working from home in the beginning. As mum is a high risk during this time, I've taken on more roles whilst at home, whether it be grocery shopping, picking up prescriptions or medications, paying the bills, or taking her to her appointments. This gave me more time to spend with my mum, as it seems we barely get the chance these days. And soon to be coming into 2 months, I look forward to getting out of the house, even if it is to see strangers or having a chat to friends at a distance at the supermarket. This time has given me the chance to do the things that I would talk about but not necessarily always get around to, such as practicing piano more and weaving, relearning fun things that actually seem so much scary as an adult, like roller skating. And trying something new like macrame or trying my hand at watercolour painting. Motivation has probably been the thing I've been struggling with lately, as I'm sure many of you are going through the same. Learning to take breaks away from the screen can be hard, as we are all consumed by technology at the moment, but I found that my mental well-being is of even more importance during this time. Playing board games, playing with your pets, sitting outside in the sun, sitting outside in general, it will help. If all you're doing is your schoolwork or some of it and nothing else for the rest of the day, or getting from your PJs to your everyday clothes, or just getting out of bed, if this is all you are doing right now, you're doing alright. Getting through day by day is all the world is asking of you. And that's okay. Please remember to look after yourself, to check in on your friends and family. Chuck them a text or surprise them with a call. Look after each other and your physical and mental well-being. Take care and be brave.